Are you looking for a life filled with adventure while also not breaking the bank? Then you should consider becoming a digital nomad in Bali. Digital nomads can work remotely and live anywhere in the world, oftentimes saving tons of money by living in countries cheaper than their own. Today, we are going on a deep dive into what it's like to be a digital nomad in Bali, Indonesia. Bali is an Indonesian island located in the westernmost end of the Lesser Sunda Islands. It is an ideal destination for digital nomads. The island is known for its beautiful beaches, vibrant culture, and affordable cost of living. Plus, it's legal to be a digital nomad in Bali with the proper visa and work permit, so Americans can work here too. In this video, we are going to be answering the most important questions when it comes to moving to Bali as a digital nomad. Let's get right into it. Number 1. Is it legal to be a digital nomad in Bali? As a digital nomad, you may be able to work remotely while living in Bali, but it is important to note that there are certain visa requirements that you'll need to meet. Yes, it is legal to be a digital nomad in Bali as long as you have the proper visa and work permit. The most common option for digital nomads is the business or work visa, which can be obtained through sponsorship from an Indonesian company or through setting up your own business in Bali. It's important to note that the process of obtaining a work visa in Bali can be complex and time-consuming, so it's best to consult with a lawyer or immigration specialist to ensure you have all the necessary documentation and to help guide you through the process. Additionally, it's important to be aware of the regulations and laws surrounding foreign workers in Bali, as they can change frequently. It's also important to have a solid plan for health insurance and other necessities. It's also worth noting that Americans, as well as citizens of many other countries, are eligible for a 30-day tourist visa upon arrival, but this cannot be extended and cannot be used for working purposes. Keep in mind that as a digital nomad in Bali, you will be considered a foreigner, and there are many laws and regulations that you need to be aware of and follow. Be prepared to face challenges such as finding a place to live, opening a bank account, getting a mobile phone number, and obtaining health insurance. Number 2. Where are the best places to live in Bali? Canggu and Ubud are two popular areas among digital nomads in Bali. Canggu is known for its laid-back atmosphere, stunning beaches, and great surf spots. It has a growing expat community and many co-working spaces and cafes with good internet. Living in Canggu, you can expect to find a good balance of work and play, with plenty of opportunities to network with other digital nomads and entrepreneurs. Ubud, on the other hand, is known for its lush green rice paddies, temples, and vibrant culture. It's a great place for digital nomads looking for a more peaceful and secluded environment. Ubud is also home to many yoga studios, healthy cafes, and co-working spaces. The area is perfect for those who prefer a more traditional Balinese lifestyle and are looking for a more relaxed and spiritual environment. Both areas offer a great balance of community and solitude, making them ideal for digital nomads. It's worth noting that both areas can be quite touristy, so it's important to do your research and find a quiet neighborhood that fits your lifestyle and budget. Additionally, you should also be prepared for higher costs of living compared to other parts of Indonesia. Keep in mind that as a digital nomad, you may also want to consider other factors such as internet speed, safety, and cost of living when choosing where to live in Bali. It's recommended to visit a few different areas and see which one feels best for you. Number 3. Can I live in Bali permanently? As mentioned earlier, one of the ways to live in Bali permanently is by obtaining a retirement visa. This option is available to those who are 55 years or older and can prove that they have a steady source of income or savings. With a retirement visa, you can stay in Bali indefinitely and it's renewable every year. However, this type of visa does have certain requirements such as a minimum amount of savings and a monthly income or pension that is deemed sufficient by the Indonesian government. Additionally, you will need to provide proof of health insurance and have a clean criminal record. It's also worth noting that having a retirement visa does not automatically give you the right to work in Bali. If you wish to work while living in Bali permanently, you would need to obtain a separate work permit. It's also worth noting that living in Bali permanently has its own set of challenges, such as navigating the local bureaucracy, adjusting to the cultural differences, and being able to afford the cost of living in the long term. As with any major decision, it's essential to do your research and consider all factors before making the decision to live in Bali permanently. As always, it's important to check with the Indonesian consulate or immigration office for the most up-to-date information and requirements for obtaining and renewing a retirement visa. Number 4. Is buying a villa in Bali a good idea? Buying property in Bali can be a good investment, especially if you plan to spend a significant amount of time there and you can afford the costs involved. However, it's important to do your research and be aware of the costs and regulations involved. When it comes to buying property in Bali, there are a few things to keep in mind. Firstly, you should be aware that as a foreign national, you are not allowed to own freehold property in Indonesia. Instead, you will need to opt for a leasehold property, which means that you will be leasing the property from the government for a certain period of time, usually 25 or 30 years. It's also worth noting that when your lease expires, it can be renewed for another term. Another important thing to consider when buying property in Bali is the location. Some areas such as Seminyak, Canggu, and Ubud are popular among tourists and expats, and as such, property prices can be quite high. Meanwhile, other areas such as Sanur and Jimbaran are more affordable but tend to be less developed and less popular among tourists. Additionally, you should also be aware of the costs involved in buying property in Bali. This includes not only the purchase price but also the ongoing costs such as property taxes, maintenance, and insurance. It's also important to have a solid understanding of the local laws and regulations regarding property ownership, as well as the legal process of buying property in Indonesia. Overall, buying property in Bali can be a good investment, but it's important to do your research and be aware of the costs and regulations involved. It's also essential to seek professional advice from a lawyer or real estate agent who is well versed in the Indonesian property market to help you navigate the process. Number 5. How long can you stay in Bali as a digital nomad? Staying in Bali as a digital nomad can be a great way to experience the island's unique culture and lifestyle while also being able to work remotely. One of the most popular options for digital nomads is to obtain a business visa, which allows you to stay in Bali for up to 6 months at a time. This visa can be extended for up to a year, providing you with a longer stay to explore the island and all it has to offer. Another option for digital nomads is a retirement visa. This type of visa is intended for individuals who are 55 years or older and are planning to retire in Bali. With this visa, you can stay in Bali indefinitely, which can be especially beneficial if you plan to make Bali your permanent home. It's important to note that visa regulations in Bali are subject to change, so it's always best to check with the Indonesian embassy in your home country before making any travel plans. Additionally, you should research the cost of obtaining a business or retirement visa, as well as any other costs associated with staying in Bali as a digital nomad. Number 6. What salary do you need to live in Bali? It's important to note that the cost of living can vary depending on where you live in Bali, with places like Seminyak and Ubud being more expensive than other areas. Additionally, if you plan on renting a villa or house, the cost of rent will also be a significant factor in your overall cost of living. When it comes to expenses, accommodation, transportation, food, and entertainment are the main expenses in Bali. A comfortable lifestyle in a good location, with a private room and a shared pool, will cost around $800 a month. Eating out at local warongs and street food stalls is very cheap, while eating out in restaurants and cafes can be more expensive. It's also important to consider that if you plan on staying in Bali for an extended period of time, you will need to budget for the cost of your visa, which can be around $1,500 for a one-year business visa. In summary, a comfortable lifestyle in Bali can be achieved with a salary of $1,500 to $2,000 per month, but it can vary depending on your lifestyle and location choices. Moving to Bali as a digital nomad requires research and planning. It's important to seek the advice of a lawyer or immigration consultant to ensure that you have all the necessary documents and understand the process. But once you're all set, you'll be able to enjoy a tropical paradise while building a successful career. Bali offers a unique and exciting opportunity for digital nomads to live an adventurous lifestyle while also saving money. With a vibrant culture, beautiful beaches, and an affordable cost of living, Bali is the perfect destination for digital nomads. So, why not make the move and start your new adventure in Bali today?